Hey Weartesters, back again with another performance review. This is Duke 4005, and I just got back from the All-Star Weekend in New York City. And unfortunately, I brought back more than just shoes and pictures and stories. I also brought back the flu, so bear with me, bear with my voice, bear with the way I look. I know I'm not always pretty, but I'm even worse now with the flu. So right now we're going to get into this performance review, and it's the Adidas D.Lillard 1. I've put a couple of weeks in on these, and I've got to say it's right on the brink of greatness, except for one major flaw. Find out what that is next. Okay, the first thing we're going to go over is the materials. I really like the materials of this shoe. They're synthetic and nubucks and poly coated, and it makes the shoe a little bit heavier than what most people are used to now. It's not a lightweight by any means, but if you go back and compare to some older shoes, it is fairly light the way it feels. It is a little bottom heavy. It comes from the Adidas midsole here, I'm sure. The outsole is a little bit thicker than some shoes on the market today, so it is a little bit heavier than what you're used to on some shoes, especially being a low top. But I'll trade off the weight for some nicer materials, and that's what we get here. You can see the nubuck here, and with the poly coat on the sides, ventilation is not a problem in this shoe at all. You've got your Tech Fit tongue right here. It's the same density all around. It's got nice ventilation on it. Not much padding, which is not a problem through this part of the shoe. The flat laces really disperse through any kind of lace pressure. The only time I had any problems is in this area when I laced up to play, and that comes into more of the fit, but I'll get into that later. Next thing we're going to cover is the cushioning. It's full length Adidas Plus in the midsole. Shockingly, this is the same setup that was in the John Wall 1 that I felt was just kind of dead and a slab of foam under your foot that really didn't do anything. This cushioning in this shoe is lively. It's bouncy. It has some feedback given to it. It's not on the level of a Boost or a Zoom Air, more along the lines thinking of a Peak shoe or Micro G to that point, maybe some brand black top. If you've worn those, it does have a nice little bounce to it. It's probably my favorite feature of this shoe, which is surprising again because after the John Wall 1 I did not have high hopes for this, but there was no impact on my body. I didn't feel any pain when I landed, and my legs never felt more tired wearing these than any other shoe that I've got. I will say I would like to have seen some Boost somewhere, but I can understand D.Lillard wanting to keep the price down on these being his first shoe and keeping them for the public, because really these are a casual looking shoe made for basketball. Next we'll get into the traction. It's kind of hard to see because of this cow print bottom right here. I think it looks pretty cool. It breaks up the shoe. It's kind of unique with the speckled midsole to go into the cow print on the bottom. I'm not sure the inspiration for the cow print. Maybe somebody can tell me out there, but I think it looks pretty cool. The traction itself, the pattern is this wave bone, herringbone that Adidas has been using for a little while. You can see here in the white parts, it is spaced out pretty good. The dust pickup was very minimal on this shoe, and the pattern itself is not real deep, so I'm not exactly sure about outdoor usage. I haven't used these outdoor myself other than just some shooting drills in my driveway. I don't play a lot of outdoor basketball. Most of what I play is indoors in a high school gym or at a 24-hour fitness. And for those gyms, the traction could not have been better. I'd put it against any herringbone on the market today. There are a couple of shoes I can think of on the top of my head that beat it just straight out, but traction itself on this shoe will get the job done and is as good as anything Adidas is putting out right now. It does break off into this broken herringbone in the back, where honestly, if you need traction back here other than just doing a drop step, you're probably in a world of hurt anyway. So, on that note, the traction itself, again, very solid. It squeaks if anybody's concerned about that, and gets the job done on any kind of cuts or step backs or backpedaling defense, transition, you're good to go. Now for support, we do have a sprint frame in this shoe. Let's show it here where you can see it through the outsole. But it's not the sprint frame that we were all used to from a couple of years ago with the Rose series. It's basically just this cup right here. It does not go up into the heel at all, and it runs through to the midfoot here. But as you can see, looking at the back of the shoe, it's not cut narrow at all like we were used to from the old series. It flattens out even a little bit right here under the arch, so it doesn't give you that pinch feeling that we got a couple of years ago. And that's basically it for stability. There's not much there. Being a low top shoe, you're not going to get much as far as ankle wrap or support on that area. One thing that is pretty neat and helps on the stability is the flare of the midsole. You see it is wider than the base of the heel, so it does give you a little more stability on that area. And the Adidas Plus itself is not very unstable, meaning when you land, you're going to get a solid landing, unlike if you had a Air Max bubble or something back here that would bend and conform when you hit. The forefoot itself also has a little bit of a flare, but not an outrigger. It is wider than where your foot's sitting, so you're sitting down inside this black part, and that really keeps your foot over the footbed. And these straps right here pull up and give you a little more support right there on the forefoot, so when you're making those cuts, you've got this pushing back against you. And I always liken it to like a starter's block in track. You push against this, it pushes back and lets you take off a little bit quicker, and that really does help on some lateral movement, staying in front of your man on defense, or coming off of picks, cuts, back doors, trying to get around them. The one area I've yet to cover is the one area I really dreaded covering, and that is fit. I had no problems in the forefoot. It laces up tight using these two straps. I thought it fit very well in the forefoot. The midfoot was pretty locked down. It could have been better, but I have had worse. The main problem and the culprit on this is these two lace holes right here. Using the flat laces and then these metal eyelets right here, once you do pull it tight, they tend to slip back out before you can get the shoe tied to keep it tight. It takes 2 or 3 times to get them tied correctly, where you've got no movement, no slipping whatsoever inside the shoe. The top eyelets here hold tight, and that's a good thing, because the heel on this shoe, the heel slip, is almost unplayable, which makes me really disappointed. The problem is the heel counter quits right here. You can see these wrinkles in the material. That's where your heel counter quits. There's nothing here but just this synthetic material and the Tech Fit inner. I feel they could have put some of the padding in the heel like the Hyper Rev had, like the Jordan 29 had. They could have made this a little bit tighter, maybe put another eye hole here, cut it up a little bit to make the opening a little bit more narrow. But unless you lace these extremely tight like I did, you're gonna have heel slip. And even then, tying it as tight as I could, I got so much lace pressure on this part that it was painful to wear, and the heel slip was still a little bit there. So one major flaw with this shoe that I can find is that. I mean, and that is a big one for me. I don't like movement of any kind when I'm playing. I don't like my foot to slide front, back, side to side, anything. And I really don't like any kind of heel slip. I don't like to feel my shoes are coming off when I'm trying to make a move. And that's pretty much what these felt like. To me, it was an easy fix. They could have put the heel counter up a little bit into here and tightened it around that Achilles. I don't know what kind of pain that would have put in or pressure on the Achilles, but to me, it's a major flaw that keeps what could have been a fantastic, great top 5 shoe this year just right outside looking in. So that about does it for the D.Lillard 1. To sum up, I mean, the cushioning is very good, not quite great. The traction is almost great, in that very good to great status. The materials I love. Again, anything that uses more of these natural feeling materials, raw materials, I'm in with. Just that one flaw, the heel fit, really takes this shoe out of the category of great for me. Priced at $105, it's a very good deal if you don't require a shoe that fits like a glove. I know there's a lot more colorways coming out. I've seen the catalog for some of the March Madness colorways. They're really going to push this shoe, and I can see why. The casual look, again, is going to appeal to a lot of the street look. A lot of the sneakerheads out there that don't use them for performance. I just really wish they could have been done something about this heel. I'm not D.Lillard, so I don't know what he's looking for in that area. This may be the way he wanted it to fit, but for me, it's just really a deal breaker. So again, 105, good cushioning, almost great traction. If you can put up with the heel slip, definitely check it out. Until the next time, guys, see you around.